Okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 8th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting. So has everyone signed in out front? The meeting is being recorded, and before you speak, we need for you to identify yourself with your full name and address, please. Okay, roll call, please.
Burl Carpenter, Amanda Cope,
Here.
Josh Fletcher, Tana King,
Present.
Jack Varana,
Here.
Jennifer Sharkey, Grant Moore,
Here.
Jeff Peters, Susan Ralston,
Here.
Steve White, Nick Sutton,
Here.
and Austin Boudreau.
Okay, we have enough for a quorum.
Yes.
Okay, have the previous minutes been read by everyone, passed out and read? If so, may I have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any old business?
We'll take a step back we'll go to 4 for election of officers.
Oh, shoot, I was just going down this list.
Nope,
Okay,
fine.
well, this is all learning curve. Okay,
You are fine.
We didn't vote on whether to accept it. We seconded it, we didn't vote on it.
well, I kind of jumped out of order a little bit. So we're going to revisit that.
Any recommendations for election of officers for president for the 2024 year?
I nominate Susan.
I respectfully have to decline. I'm just too tied up with work right now. It is crazy busy. I can't see straight. So I'm going to have to respectfully decline. Let's try. Yeah. Any others?
It is permissible to nominate yourself or an absent member.
The absent.
How long is Jeff out of, is he gone in Florida for months here or?
Jeff is gone, just this meeting, what he's presented to me. I spoke to him on the phone for any desire, and this was one he didn't have, but that being said, he is not here for that.
Oh.
He spoke highly of a couple others that I was going to present on behalf of him.
I guess at this point, we have to present on his behalf who did he.
No, at his recommendation, I'll be presenting on behalf of him for positions he would like to fill.
He would like.
Unfortunately, president was not one.
Was not one of those. So now what do we do?
We sit and wait until there's a nomination.
Clarify the responsibilities for everybody. Is it just what we see done here, or is there stuff outside of the, that I can do anything?
Kim, please interrupt if I need to be, but basically orchestrate and run the meeting as we've seen the past year by previous President Martin. Call the meeting to order, present the cases, keep the meetings on track to agenda items.
There's not a lot of outside work at
The
all.
outside work would be phone calls from our office of phoning in of saying your signatures are needed. Usually we can get them on other meeting nights. It's just a quick signature, the sign for minutes and things of that nature for recording.
I would be happy to do vice president but I've already, headed the BZA and that's kind of enough, so.
Sure.
Can there be a co-chair?
I mean, if you are unable to attend a meeting,
Well,
then Phil.
but that's no different.
No.
Sure. Coming with a bang. Get in there, baby.
Nick?
Yes.
That's a yes.
That's a yes.
Yes.
Great start.
Any desire?
I don't think so.
With that being said,
We need to hash
You
it
have
out.
a-
You gotta have
yeah.
a president and a vice president.
How about Austin?
I'm not even on this board technically, so I'm not.
You always, every month you sit there.
He wouldn't be qualified.
I'm not a member.
He's a non-voting member. His role is very narrow and specified.
Okay.
When the Steuben County Plan Commission asks me what we do here, usually it's your member that tells everybody. I mean, there's not been a lot of fruit from this relationship I can speak of.
well, being that we do not have anybody that's jumping up for it, if I can have the promise of help,
Absolutely.
I will accept.
Okay, so
Just,
back to Mr. Moore's recommendation of Susan for president.
Second by Nick.
and may I have a-
All in favor?
Oh,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we move to vice president.
Nick? I think you'd be great.
All right, so Moore recommend, do we have a second?
Second now.
All in favor?
Aye. Are you the secretary or is Jennifer?
Technically, the way it would be Jennifer, either one of us for the board, since she's the, technically the zoning administrator, it's her, so.
we do not have to vote on secretary.
You can, I believe last January,
I would recommend a vote
Yeah.
on secretary. You would, I think, be qualified to serve as secretary, which makes more sense than any.
and I will accept,
Okay.
so.
Recommended, vote.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, Susan, if you'd like me to continue. the
Yes,
appointment.
please.
Next is a liaison for Steuben County Plan Commission. Their meetings are the first Wednesday of every month at 5 PM. That previously was held by Mr. Councilman McDermott, and looking for a new liaison. If there is none, I spoke with Mr. Peters on the phone and he sparked interest and said he would be interested in that position if someone would like to recommend him.
So recommended.
Second. Can I second since I'm acting president? Okay.
Yeah.
I second then.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next would be the representative for the Angola Board of Zoning Appeal member.
We had this before?
Recommendation or appointment, or
Yeah.
what do you mean? This is my first with it since I have been in the capacity of in this role. So
I was the previous.
How was that? Okay.
That's how I ended up with.
currently, it's now Mr. Moore. Do we have a recommendation?
I'd love to be on the board of zoning.
You would like to be?
I would.
Okay.
Is that a voting member? I
Or,
thought there was only 5 on the PTA.
The makeup of the Board of Zoning Appeals requires one member of the plan commission. So
We already have two of us.
then that would fulfill that requirement.
Okay. So you just renew your role then? Sorry, that was last for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a requirement of the statute that a member of the plan commission also be a member of the BZA.
Okay.
A little different from the county liaison situation.
Okay. So basically moving forward now, so we have the two. We'll remember you, Mr. White, for the next
Yeah.
time of renewal for that. Fine. Okay.
Guys never been with them.
I can get with you after the meeting. I'll pull up the sheet we have of when the limits or the terms are for filling that.
Good enough, thank you.
Yep. Okay, next on the agenda would be the plat committee as voted on, I believe, in the December meeting and gone to council. The plat committee, I have it printed out in the rules of procedures for the plan commission. Shall consist of 5 members appointed as follows. 1 member shall be of the plan commission, 1 member shall be a staff member from the city engineer department, and 3 members shall be appointed by the plan commission and may include additional plan commission members. And there's a total of 5 there. And
I'll fulfill the engineering department one.
In going on record, I spoke with 2 other plan commission members that are unable to attend this evening. Mr. Peters sparked interest in this as well, so he would like the recommendation. We'll do these as a block of 5 for the voting purposes if we can. So Member Peters and Member Sharkey would like to be on this as well. And Director Jennifer Barclay mentioned she would serve on this plat committee as well. So we have 4 out of the 5. We're looking for a 5th to come on board as well. And essentially, just while you guys sit there and ponder, we're looking at a date we'll have to discuss when to meet. And this will be only when a minor subdivision has been presented to us. So it might not be an every month meeting, but we would try to target potentially the second Tuesday or second Monday of every month. So it's on the same night as this, but try to come in at 4:00 to do that plat committee and then come to the plan commission. So there's not as many evenings away.
I would be interested in that.
Okay. Okay. So if we can, we'll take, I guess, a recommendation in a second and a favor. But for the plat committee for the 2024 year would be Member Peters, Member Cope, Member Sharkey, Director Barclay, and Member King is how I have them noted down. Anyone want to make a motion?
I make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Would that be a favorable time with the ones that are present that Monday at 4:00? Or we could always, I believe, discuss with the surrounding members to secure time. Would that be fine for next meeting, securing a time for the plat committee?
As long as the proper notice is given to the public and the press
Okay, yeah,
for the open door law.
yep, okay.
You can set it any time you want, as long as you notify them.
I think Monday's at 4, and it's only one
Yep.
evening. Everyone has to come back.
Okay.
So kind of backtracking a little bit, could we have the motion and the second, so could we have the approval for the minutes from December 11th of 2023?
Aye.
Let's see. You said there was no old business?
No.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and take over the new business then for the?
Yes. If you look at our agenda, You'll see how the second agenda item this evening for the Thoroughbred Express subdivision, they have withdrawn their application the end of last week, so they are no longer on this evening's agenda. First, we have an accessory structure at 1290 Woolert Street. The project is for cold storage building. And the location is at 1290 Woolert Street, seeking development plan approval. Applicant is Jerry Long. The zoning is I2, moderate intensity industrial district. Hearing date is today's date, January 8th, 2024. Legal notices appeared in the Herald Republican on December 29th. 8 property owners within 300 feet were sent notification on December 27th. This product refers to Title 18 of the UDO and Indiana Code 36-7-4-1400 series for development plan. Project is not located within the floodplain, and staff's recommendation is conditional approval. The petitioner is requesting to construct an 1,800 square foot cold storage accessory structure, a 30 foot by 60 foot over an existing impervious parking area. The petitioner's primary use involves remanufacturing of antique classic automobiles and automobile customization. The petitioner rents off-site storage units to house overflow of automobiles and automobile accessories. Since the main structure / shop houses mostly inventory, the petitioner has advised staff that the rental units are unsecure and not covered by the petitioner's insurance policy. The property is situated on Woolert Street and is on 0.72 acre parcel, housing approximately 7,630 square foot primary structure and approximately 15,000 square foot of asphalt impervious area. At the time of original construction, the primary structure was built on the eastern portion of the lot and provides ample front yard setback and meets all side and rear yard setbacks. As you notice, reference the image, the property line is outlined in orange. On November 27th of 2023, the Angola Board of Zoning Appeals conditionally approved a variance for the front yard accessory structure, section 18.164.130, B as in boy, with conditions that the project receives development plan approval by this board. Determination was made that the zoning standards allows a maximum of 8 primary structures and use of anchoring materials. The project is qualified for development plan approval. As noted, the structure will be placed over already impervious area, secured via asphalt anchors, approved by the Indiana Department of Homeland Security Plan Review section by being driven 30 inches into the ground. The structure will strictly be used by the petitioner for vehicle storage only, with no utilities included. There are no architectural standards required within the I2 zoning district. However, the petitioner has committed to mirror aesthetics of the existing building with tan facade with matching shingles. Adequate parking will remain with no improvements to be or to include additional. Next, we'll move into the site plan. The applicant requests, as stated, is a 30 by 60 foot cold storage structure in the front yard, shown in blue. Over already impervious area, the accessory structure is placed 30 foot from the right of way to accommodate the front yard setback. The accessory structure is noted to be anchored to the ground with asphalt anchors being driven, and that should be a correction to 30 inches, is to include no windows, have 2 10 foot by 8 foot garage doors facing the south and 1 entry door on the east facade, and constructed with the same or similar color metal exterior to match the primary structure. To the right, you'll see the petitioner provided site plan, and on the bottom is an aerial with the rough measurements outlined in red. Next, we move to the site plan to show you an image of what the building will look like, a perspective view, somewhat of a side angle, as if you look at the building from the southeast corner looking northwest. The front, a picture of what the interior is to look like. And lastly would be the asphalt anchors that is provided in the petitioner's project. Next, we'll move into the site photos. It's as you making your way down Woolert Street from the north to the south. First was from the northwest corner of the property looking southeast. The accessory structure is to sit between the front blue facade and the telephone pole. Next is looking directly east at that front facade of where the accessory structure will sit. Next is an image to show you measurements roughly of red lines where the 30-foot by 60-foot will span. And to close is the image from the southwest corner of the property looking northeast. Next, we move into the contextual zoning and land use. The property is zoned I-2 as mentioned. To the north, you have AW Manufacturing and Repair and Rockwell American. To the south, NEI Glass, Hudson Aquatic, and Metal Spinners. To the east, you have Chapman's Brew, Rapid Rebuilding, and commercial buildings along North Wayne Street. And to the west, you have Wagler and Associates, Dave's Diesel, Countryside Repair, and some agricultural zoning. This project speaks to the Angola Comprehensive Plan, Objective 1.5. They encourage underutilized lots, and Objective 1.7, direct commercial growth within the corporate limits. As of today's meeting date and time, we've received no public input. And in conclusion, staff encourages expansion on existing properties and is supportive of the request. This expansion not only fulfills the petitioner's specific needs, but also aligns with principles of efficient land use and minimal environmental impact. Staff recommends the conditions of approval that if any utilities are installed within this accessory structure in the future, proper permits will be obtained. Any questions for staff?
No, but I will say it, this was at the BZA before, and then we asked them to put it in a development plan so that way the city could look at it. And there were some questions on the building being anchored into the ground or not and those kinds of things. So it looks like all of that's been covered. So that's kind of why it went to the BZA and then back here. Because one of the conditions was that they do a development plan. So it looks like it's all been covered with what we have there.
And he said,
No public
public
input.
input.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
So is there anyone here who would like to present their facts on the case? Mr. Long, would you like to present your facts on the case?
I don't really have anything to say, but I'd be glad to answer questions.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Long?
I guess you do understand the recommendation about the utilities that you'd have to, if you did that in the future, you'd have to get permits and all that. And
I
come
do.
back.
Yeah. And there, should I come up? There is one thing that just came to mind.
Sure, please.
When Brent was reading the report, it had mentioned that I only intend to use this for car storage. That is my sincere intention at the moment, but I don't know what the legal implications are of that. Obviously, if you own the real estate, you're paying to have the building erected. You should be able to use your own building, I would think, for other things if things change. I understand the condition of the further permitting if you install utilities, NIPSCO, gas, plumbing, that sort of thing. So I'm all 10-4 on that, but that was you might want to speak a little bit further on applications of that in your report.
So I guess our question then would become, is there any other thought process of what you might be using this building for?
Storage now, but I might decide to put my forklift in there instead of a car or something. I mean, I don't know. I might put tools in there.
Okay.
So I'm just saying I like to have everything on the table up front. And if I hear something that just kind of,
I think as far as the main concern is it being storage. So if it is a car, forklift,
okay.
storage. So
Yeah. And then I would intend to put door triggers with my alarm system, for just security, but they're not, they don't require an outlet because they're run off of either my existing ADT on my primary structure would run out of the alarm box. They're low voltage, 3 wires, you put up little triggers to the doors for security. or I could use a wireless even potentially, but at this time, sincerely, that's my only intended use is to put cars in it. Right now, I'm renting 5 storage bays over by the YMCA, and I just want to get off of those and put those cars in there and also take some cars if I can fit them out of my existing primary structure to have more room to work there. And obviously, this building doesn't have it's not even going to have any insulation. It's just tin with steel framing. I mean, I already have a better building to work in with auto lifts and utilities already. Obviously, I'm not going to want to go out there in the heat of the summer or the cold and work in a building with, I mean, it's like working in my backyard shed, you know what I mean? When I could work in a facility that's already tooled up. So that's all I have to say.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Any discussion amongst the members? Okay. Could I have a motion?
Findings of fact first.
Oh, findings of fact, sorry. Oh,
All right, moving to the finding of fact. Excuse me. Number 1, the development plan is or is not consistent with the City of Angola Comprehensive Plan.
Is.
Staff proposes the finding that the development plan is consistent with the City of Angola Comprehensive Plan, that it supports redevelopment of underutilized lots and commercial growth inside corporate limits. Agree or disagree? Number 2, the development plan does or does not cause a hazard or unsafe condition for drivers on existing or proposed streets or at points of access to perimeter streets.
Does not.
Staff proposes the finding that because that there are no proposed improvements to public streets, all improvements to private access drives include additional safety measures.
Agree.
Number 3, the development plan does or does not cause existing or proposed streets to exceed their capacity or cause traffic congestion.
Does not.
Staff proposes the finding that because the existing use is not changing, improvements are being made to the site that only affect the petitioner. Additional capacity and traffic congestion is not anticipated.
Agree.
Number 4, the development plan does or does not dedicate the necessary right-of-way for future expansion to the perimeter roads as indicated in the thoroughfare plan.
Agree.
Staff proposes the finding that because the property fronts Woolard Street, which already has adequate right-of-way for this development, no additional right-of-way is necessary. Number 5, the development plan does or does not create a safe environment for pedestrians to safely move about the development and to connect to perimeter pedestrian facilities.
Does.
Staff proposes the finding that because its placement connecting to established drives and parking spaces that flow throughout the property. Number 6, the development plan does or does not arrange building and structures appropriately for function and aesthetic appeal.
Does.
Staff proposes the finding that because the proposed structure will match the finished material of the existing building on site, the placement doesn't interfere with vehicular or pedestrian traffic flow. Number 7, the development plan is or is not compatible with surrounding uses, buildings, zoning districts, or is designed to effectively and appropriately buffer or transition those uses, buildings, and zoning districts to which it is in conflict.
Is.
Staff proposes the finding that because the proposed addition will match exterior finishes and meet all development standards to ensure neighborliness and aesthetics.
Agree.
And if I may, combine 8 through 12 together in one lump for this project. The development plan does or does not satisfy the applicable standards in each division.
Does.
Staff proposes the finding that the development does satisfy all the standards in its division once all routing comments are adequately addressed within the plan review.
I make a motion, we approve with the condition, if any utilities are installed within the accessory structure in the future, proper permits will be obtained.
Second that.
May I make a comment before the vote?
Sure.
The variance at the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting was specifically for cold storage of vehicles. I would agree with you, Mr. Steele, that if he stores a forklift or other type, machines, that's probably fine. But beginning operations or work or welding in this building would be a violation of the variance that was granted.
Noted. I think your strict was for the storage, correct, for this building? You're not going to be welding in there as stated, I mean, from what you said.
My building, my primary building is 480, the highest voltage service you can have. I have welders, 4 welders in there that I would weld. I have no intentions of doing any welding in there now. If I can't get a car started or something and I need to fix a starter or something in there, we have to be reasonable about that.
Yeah, of course, and the law is reasonable, but I just wanted to emphasize that it's really not for anything other than storing vehicles and, related activity connected with that. It's not for different activity that was not discussed.
Noted.
Okay, I have a first and a second, so.
Who was the second? I'm sorry on that vote.
Thank you.
So may I have a vote, please?
Aye.
Any other business?
Nope, I will note that there will be a meeting next month. It was the deadline and it will be on February 12th. Do the next meeting.
Anything else? I have a motion to adjourn. We don't?
Yeah.
All right.
No question, what if nobody,
Yeah.
voted for it?
Right.
So you have to say it on that.
32 minutes.
Yes.